There's a unique kind of pain that comes when someone you care about suddenly goes silent. You text her. You wait. You see she's online. She posts. She laughs in her stories. But your message sits there, unseen, and your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? Did I misread everything? You replay every conversation, searching for the moment it fell apart. But here's the truth, and you need to hear it clearly. Her silence is not about you. It's about her. And your reaction to it is about you. The ancient test. 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." He wasn't talking about dating, but his words echo perfectly in our modern world. Because when she ignores you, when the messages stop, the energy fades, and the silence begins, that's your test. Not a test of charm or strategy or how fast you can win her back. It's a test of discipline, of emotional mastery, of whether you can stay still when everything inside you wants to move. Every man faces this at some point. The attention disappears, the ego panics, the mind spins stories. Did I say too much? Did I do something wrong? The heart begs for answers that never come. But the truth is, this is the moment that defines you. When you stop needing an explanation, you begin to understand power. Stoicism teaches that control is not found in changing others, but in mastering your reaction to them. If you can hold your composure when silence screams, if you can resist the urge to chase validation, then you've already won. You've passed the test. Because the measure of a man isn't how he acts when he's adored, but how he stands when he's ignored. The hidden game. In the world of modern dating, silence is rarely just silence. It's communication without words, a hidden exchange of power. Sometimes it's deliberate, sometimes it's instinctive. But either way, it reveals something deeper, the unspoken question of who controls the emotional tempo. She pulls away, you feel the void, and suddenly your mind starts playing the oldest game in human psychology. Who breaks first? Who needs more? Who can stay calm longer? It's not about texting, it's about leverage. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What he meant was simple: the thoughts you feed become the life you live. If your thoughts are frantic, if you let anxiety dictate your next move, then desperation seeps into your words, your posture, even your energy. But if your thoughts are calm, disciplined, and detached, you become a force of quiet gravity. When you chase, double text, or ask why she's distant, you're not communicating interest, you're communicating dependence. You're telling her that your emotional balance belongs to her. And once you do that, you've surrendered your power. But when you hold your silence, when you stay composed and centered, you send a far more powerful message, not through words, but through presence. You say, without saying it, "I am not moved by absence. I am not defined by reaction. I am whole, even when you're silent." And paradoxically, that calm detachment is what draws people back. Because in a world addicted to noise and instant replies, stillness is rare. It unsettles those who expect control. It intrigues those who seek strength. You stop being the man who waits and become the man who commands. So remember this, every silence is an invitation, not to panic, but to practice. To practice patience, restraint, and mastery. To remind yourself that the one who controls his reactions controls the entire game. The story of Michael. Let me tell you a story. Michael was 34. He lived in Seattle, worked in marketing, smart, reliable, calm on the outside. The kind of man who showed up, who listened, who made people feel safe. He'd been seeing a woman named Emma for a few months. They had chemistry, long walks by the water, late-night talks that felt like connection, not just conversation. He wasn't imagining things. It felt real. Then one day she stopped replying. At first, it was just a few hours, then a day, then two. The familiar quiet that says everything without saying anything. Michael did what almost every man does when faced with that kind of silence. He tried to stay calm, but the phone kept pulling his attention. He'd check it every few minutes, waiting for that one message that would make the uncertainty go away. He wrote texts, then deleted them, rewrote them, deleted them again. He went to bed late, hoping she'd reply overnight. Woke up early, checked again before even getting out of bed. That silence, it started to eat away at his confidence. But then one night, as he sat in his apartment staring at the same unread messages, something inside him shifted. He walked to his bookshelf and pulled down an old copy of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, a book he'd read years ago in college, but never truly understood until that moment. He flipped through the pages and stopped at a line he had underlined long ago. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It hit him like a command, the kind that doesn't just speak to your thoughts, but to your soul. That night, Michael didn't text. He didn't check his phone. He went for a long run instead. The cold air burned his lungs, but it felt clean, honest. When he got home, he lifted weights, showered, and made himself dinner. Simple food, no distractions, just him, the quiet, and his thoughts. Then he sat in the silence. But it wasn't the silence of waiting anymore. It was the silence of peace. The silence of a man who'd stopped trying to control what wasn't his to control. Days turned into weeks. The habit of checking his phone faded. He felt lighter, not because she texted, but because he no longer cared whether she did. 3 weeks later, out of nowhere, Emma texted, "Hey, been busy. How have you been?" He saw the notification, smiled faintly, and set the phone down. Not because he wanted to punish her, and not because he stopped caring, but because he finally understood what strength felt like. It wasn't revenge, it wasn't ego. It was freedom. For the first time, Michael realized something powerful. He didn't need her to come back to feel whole. He'd already come back to himself. Control what you can. Stoicism teaches that life can be divided into two simple categories: what's within your control and what's not. Everything she does, her choices, her moods, her timing, falls in the second category. You can't predict it, you can't manage it, and you can't force it. But there's one thing that always belongs to you: your reaction, your focus, your energy. Most men give that power away without even realizing it. They hand over their emotional control the moment they start overthinking someone else's silence. They let her actions dictate their mood, their sleep, their confidence. It's as if they've handed her the steering wheel to their own peace. But the Stoic man doesn't do that. He keeps control, quietly, firmly, with discipline. He doesn't chase when ignored. He doesn't argue with reality. He doesn't try to win someone back through desperation. Instead, he stands still. And standing still is not weakness, it's mastery. Because when every impulse in your body screams, "Do something," and you choose not to, that's when you begin to own yourself. Every time you resist the urge to send that text, to beg for clarity, or to explain your worth, you're teaching your mind something vital. You lead. Emotions follow. You're reprogramming your nervous system to follow reason instead of reaction. This is what Stoicism looks like in real life. Not monks on mountains or men without feeling, but people who can remain calm in a storm, men who choose stillness over chaos. Control is not about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself. And when you can do that, when you can stay composed no matter what she does, you become untouchable. That's not arrogance, that's peace. And peace earned through restraint is the highest form of power a man can possess. Shift the focus back to you. When a woman ignores you, it's easy to take it as rejection, but in truth, it's redirection, a quiet nudge from the universe, handing you back the most valuable resource you have, time. What you do with that time determines the kind of man you become. You could waste it checking your phone, analyzing every silence, and drowning in questions. Or you could use it. You could go to the gym and sweat out the frustration. You could start the project you've been putting off. You could read, write, learn, or build something that reminds you of who you are without anyone's approval. The moment you redirect your attention inward, the illusion breaks. You stop being the man waiting for a text, and you become the man who moves with purpose. And paradoxically, that's when everything changes. Not because she finally reaches out, but because you've already outgrown the need for her to. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery, in this case, isn't charging into battle. It's sitting in silence without breaking, trusting that peace is built, not given. Freedom begins the moment you stop measuring your worth through someone else's attention. It begins when you stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself, every day with discipline. Because the man who masters his focus no longer needs to chase validation. He creates gravity. He becomes the kind of presence that doesn't need to demand attention. It simply commands it. The mirror of value. Here's one of life's quiet paradoxes. The harder you chase something, the faster it slips away. The more you cling, the smaller you seem. But the less you react, the calmer you remain, the more magnetic you become. Because in a world addicted to noise, stillness has become the ultimate rarity, and rarity is power. Picture a storm at sea. The sky darkens, the waves crash, and everything is chaos. Boats are tossed, winds howl, and most people fight the storm, texting again, pleading for answers, overanalyzing every silence. But beneath that turmoil lies the ocean floor, still, solid, unmoved. That's the image of true power. You don't need to resist the storm. You simply remain grounded until it passes. This is the energy of a man who knows his value. His worth isn't negotiated in someone else's silence or approval. It's defined by how little he needs validation to stand tall. He doesn't demand respect. He attracts it through calm, quiet certainty. Every woman can feel that energy, the confidence that isn't loud but unmistakable. It's not arrogance, it's control, it's self-trust. And nothing unsettles the world more than a man who doesn't flinch when ignored. Because silence doesn't scare him, it centers him. He doesn't chase what drifts away. He builds what stays. That's the kind of man people remember. Not because he fought for attention, but because he carried a presence that no silence could threaten. Steady, silent, and unshakably sure of his own worth. The reverse effect. This is where the principle of reverse psychology becomes real. not as manipulation, but as energy. When you stop reacting, something subtle shifts. Your absence begins to carry weight. The silence that once belonged to her becomes her own to face. And suddenly, she starts asking herself the very questions you used to ask. Why isn't he chasing? Did I lose him? Has he moved on? But by that point, it doesn't matter, because you already have. You've moved forward, not out of anger, but out of alignment. You've replaced the restless urge to prove yourself with quiet certainty. You've turned desperation into direction. The irony of attraction is that the less you seek it, the more you generate it. The moment you stop trying to win her attention, your energy changes. You're no longer operating from need, you're operating from self-respect. That shift is magnetic. It can't be faked, and it can't be ignored. And yet, the true victory isn't her return. It's the peace that comes from no longer waiting. Because peace is the most seductive quality of all, rarer than beauty, deeper than charm, more enduring than lust. The man who no longer reacts, who moves forward with calm detachment, radiates something different. He's not trying to be desired, he simply is desirable, because his world no longer revolves around anyone else's approval. That's the real reverse effect. You stop chasing validation. You start living from strength. And suddenly the same silence that once felt like loss becomes your greatest advantage. The calm man is the rare man. The modern world is engineered to make you react. Every ping, every post, every unread message, they all whisper the same lie. You're missing something. You need to respond. It's a constant invitation to surrender your peace to distraction, to noise, to other people's timelines. But Stoicism is rebellion. It's standing against that current. It's the quiet declaration. I don't react to chaos. I respond to truth. When she goes silent, you feel the pull, the instinct to reach out, to demand closure, to fix what feels broken. But that urge is just your ego, desperate to restore control. The Stoic man knows better. He doesn't panic. He doesn't chase. He doesn't hand over his inner balance in exchange for temporary reassurance. Instead, he breathes. He steps back. He lets the moment pass through him like wind through an open window. He understands that no one can ghost a man who's already at home within himself. The world calls this indifference. It isn't. It's mastery. It's the strength to feel the discomfort, the waiting, the uncertainty, the quiet, and still remain centered. Because calmness isn't the absence of emotion, it's the command of it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's the entire secret of composure. You don't talk about strength, you embody it. You don't announce your worth, you live it. You don't react to noise, you create silence. And that silence, that calm, that stillness, it changes everything. It disarms people who expect reaction. It commands respect without demand. It turns absence into gravity. The calm man is the rare man. He doesn't chase validation because he already validates himself through discipline. He doesn't seek attention because his presence speaks louder than any words. He doesn't need to prove he's good. His restraint proves it for him. So the next time the world tries to provoke you, remember this. Peace is power. Stillness is strength. And the man who can stay calm in the storm becomes the storm. The detachment of power. Detachment is one of the most misunderstood forms of strength. People think it means coldness, a wall, a withdrawal, an emotional shutdown. But true detachment isn't the absence of feeling. It's the presence of clarity. It's the ability to love without losing yourself, to care without collapsing, to give without begging for a return. You can love someone deeply and still refuse to let their behavior dictate your peace. You can show up fully, sincerely, without turning your heart into collateral for approval. That's what makes detachment so powerful. It's love with boundaries, passion with balance, emotion under command. When you detach from the outcome, you reclaim the only thing that ever belonged to you, your life. You stop bargaining with your worth. You stop living for reactions, for texts, for validation that rises and falls with someone else's attention span. You stop asking, "What does she think of me?" and start asking, "What do I think of myself?" This shift is quiet but radical. You start to walk differently, slower, steadier. Your world no longer spins around uncertainty. You realize that peace is not something another person gives you. It's something you protect day after day through your choices. She may come back, she may not. It doesn't change who you are. Because detachment doesn't mean you don't care whether she returns. It means you'll be fine either way. You've stopped holding your happiness hostage to outcomes you can't control. And here's the paradox. That calm, that grounded presence, it's magnetic. People feel it. They may not know why, but they sense something different in you. A man who doesn't chase energy has energy. A man who doesn't demand attention commands it. This is the quiet power of detachment. It's not about walking away from love. It's about walking closer to yourself. Because the man who no longer fears loss can finally experience freedom. And that freedom, that calm, unshakable presence, is what draws the world toward him without him ever needing to move. A letter to the man she ignored. If she could see you now, she wouldn't recognize the man she left behind. She'd see someone who didn't fall apart when she disappeared, a man who stood still in the silence and built something stronger within himself. She'd see that the version of you who once waited for her reply has been replaced by someone who no longer needs it. You used to look at your phone, searching for meaning in every moment of quiet. Now, that same quiet has become your teacher. It taught you patience. It taught you control. It taught you that peace isn't found in someone else's attention. It's found in what you build when no one's watching. She'd see a man who replaced need with purpose, who used absence as fuel instead of pain. While she was silent, you were growing. While she pulled away, you moved forward. And somewhere along the way, you stopped waiting for anyone to validate your worth. You've stopped chasing attention. You've started mastering yourself. And that's the transformation every Stoic understands. The moment when silence no longer feels like punishment, but liberation. Because peace isn't found in her return, it's found in your stillness. You've learned that power doesn't come from being chosen. It comes from choosing yourself. So, if she could see you now, she might reach out again. Not because she misses who you were, but because she feels who you've become. But by then, it won't matter. Because the man who learned to love the silence has already found everything he was searching for. The closing reflection. Most men lose themselves the moment they're ignored. They panic, they beg, they explain. They trade their peace for a reply. But not you. Not anymore. You've walked through the storm of silence and found something rare on the other side, your own power. You no longer react, you observe. You no longer chase, you create. You no longer explain, you embody. There's a calm in you now, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything. You walk differently, not to impress her, but because you've finally met yourself, and you like who you've become. Remember this: Real power isn't about domination, it's about direction. It's about knowing where you're going, even when no one's walking beside you. You don't need her to validate your worth. Your calm is your worth. Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This was your trial, and you passed it. So walk quietly, move deliberately. Let your silence speak louder than words ever could, because the man who no longer explains himself, the man who doesn't beg to be understood, is the man the world never forgets.